Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.
You live.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbarakathum to the brothers. Yahweh Shema Alathan Hashem, Yahweh Shah to the sisters. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Harlem Street, Harlem, New York. And we've been doing this since 1969. We are under the helm of Commander General Yahana. We ain't affiliated with no other Israelite groups. We ain't affiliated with the Muslim mosque or the Christian church. And today, my name is Officer 50 Yaquad, and I'm joined with Officer 500 Yagador. And we gonna bring out a Tawab class, man, for y'all brothers and sisters today, man. And the thing about it, what I'm pretty sure if y'all can see the title. First of all, I want to give a shout out to all the brothers and sisters in the comment section. All right. If anybody have any questions or anything, you can ask your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them for you. If we can't answer them in the UPK, we have a protocol where we'll ask the man above us, and he'll give it to us, and we'll give it back to you, the answer to it in the next class. Or you are able to go into another class and ask the question to a higher up. All right. But I know y'all understand, like, we got a lot going on, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And right now, you know, we getting ready to watch as, you know, everybody celebrate this horrible, you know, so-called holiday, Thanksgiving, right? And it's the slaughter of the Lord's people, man. You understand? So just to let anybody know, you know what I'm saying? Like, stay away from your family. Cook you something to eat. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to cook, go get you something to eat. Don't eat that food, man. Don't try to let yourself get hungry where you want a plate. Just leave it alone. You understand what I'm saying? Because what's going on to the Lord's people right now is disgusting. You understand? And to do the right thing, it starts with us here in the ISUPK. We are the only people that have the truth, right? You understand? And we want everybody to understand that. But we're going to kick it off with this right here. You know, by us not keeping the commandments, right? By us not following the law, the statutes, and the commandments that the Lord gave us, right? As Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, it causes us to be unbrotherly. Every law, every statute, every commandment that we have, it is put there for a reason, and that reason is to teach us how to treat each other, right? Everybody get that. The first display of this right here was made when the Lord set up Adam and his wife. When the Lord set up Adam and gave him his kingdom amongst the kingdoms of this earth, when he raised him up and he put that strong woman by his side, right? You understand? Something happened, okay? And from that one thing happening, it settled all the way down, right? Into what we see now, which is us not following the Lord, man. Us going each and every single way. So tonight we're gonna show y'all We're gonna put up we're gonna show y'all two incidents that came out. We're gonna start with the one with the in that church, that horrible, monstrous Christian church, what they did with that little sister. And we're going to break down why that was so horrible and why that was unbrotherly and unsisterly activity in that place. And that is only going to cause us to fail and be held by it. And we got to break this, right? But I'm going to start with this scripture first. I'm going to go to Genesis chapter 3. I'm going to start there. I'm going to start with Genesis chapter 3. Genesis chapter 3. All right. We'll start at Genesis 3. If you don't mind, Officer Yagadar, I can read this for sir. If you don't mind, sir.
I can read it for you. Where you at? Genesis chapter 3, and where you want to start at?
Let's start at 1.
No sweat. All right, this is Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Most High had made.
Right. So it's saying the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, meaning he was different. He was more subtle. He was cunning. You understand what I'm saying? This and we got to understand this to take the hooky spooky out this. We're not talking about animals, right? The Lord is using what he created to explain what we do on this earth as people, right? You understand? The snake is this snake was a subtle beast. You understand? He was more subtle than everybody else. You understand what I'm saying? This is a man. This serpent is a man, right? We're gonna find out what this man's objective was. Go ahead, sir, if you could. Bubba Kushab.
And he said unto the woman.
And he said unto the woman. Now, this is a man speaking to a woman. Can anybody in the chat, right, tell me what was wrong with this picture right here, with this man speaking to this woman? Anybody can answer? Anybody can answer this. What is wrong with this man speaking to this woman? If you're married out there and you in the comments and you watching, you should know this, especially if you're in the UPK. You should know what's wrong with this. Give y'all a couple more seconds, man. I don't see nobody trying to answer it. Y'all, they might not know, Officer Yagadar. I think think they know what's wrong with it. I don't think they know.
Hey, and Salaki, what you bringing out is so heavy. I watched the video. I like to watch a lot of them videos from like the 60s and the 70s to kind of see where we went wrong at. And I actually watched a clip this morning and taking on that identity, that way of life from the oppressor. Right. And how they told them to go to church and giving a woman empowerment. All of that stemmed directly from that church. I'm gonna actually send it to Officer Urasha Moff to let him check it out. I think he's gonna be able to dissect it and go crazy with it. But I mean, it's amazing when you sit there and watch some of these videos. It's it's old just because of what it looks like, but they're saying the same things from 2025. You just see the damage that it all caused now. So what you bringing out is heavy. Aqua Raya asked if you can repeat the question. And Shalom Yatawa, Princess Tazara. But yeah, they asked if you can repeat that question, Officer Yaqua.
All right, cut on. The question was, what do y'all see wrong with the part where it says, and he said unto the woman, what is wrong about what's going on with this specific part right here? And he said to the woman, just is it might be over your heads a little bit. It might be this a tough one right here, sir. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. Just for time's sake, right? This is another man, right, speaking to another man's wife. You understand? Listen, let me tell you, brother, something. The most unbrotherly thing you can do is go to another man's wife and try to question her or teach her or say anything to her, knowing she has a husband. You have to understand the Lord gave Adam the law. Adam knew better than to do this. That's why he don't say, Officer Yagadah, stop me if I'm wrong. It don't say Adam went to some other woman and talked to her.
Yeah, all right.
Adam didn't go to nobody else's woman. Adam had his own woman. He had his own kingdom. He had his own laws, his own way of life amongst these people, amongst these nations. But this man, this serpent, when you look up the word serpent, you know, it's compared to a snake. When you look up the translation of the word snake that's put in this Bible, it means a deceiving, lying man. This is a lying man. Go ahead, sir.
No, I was gonna say, Salaki, you did get one answer. Trooper McQuarrie Yala said should have been speaking to a man, so he's right there with you.
Right. Con, sir. He's supposed to be speaking to a man. In this school, we listen, I'm trying to tell you one of the crazy things that I learned when I first came in this school, right? And it was so funny to me because, like, officers used to say it all the time, you know, when a sister come in this school, right? You know, if she come in here with, let's just say she's a sister just coming into school, and you know, she don't have a husband in here, but she got a husband that's in the world, right? I would hear officers ask that sister, you know, did she get permission from her husband, even though this man is in the world? You understand? Because this brother might not want his woman to learn that she's an Israelite. You understand what I'm saying? And it's wrong, it's wicked if he don't want her to learn that. You understand what I'm saying? But that's not our place, because we understand the law. We understand that that is his woman. But see, these other nations, the white man, he don't care. He gonna come to your woman and talk to your woman on the side while you ain't around. And this is what our women do. This is the first act of being unbrotherly or unsisterly with our people. If you could, sir, go ahead.
All right, Salaki, you do have one question. Real quick, it says, Salaki, does this apply because he was not a priest and a prophet?
Who?
I believe Aquafra is asking the serpent as far as him talking to the woman. Does this apply just because he's not a priest and a prophet?
No, it applies because that's not his woman to even approach. He should have never even approached her. Why didn't he go to Adam? Ask y'all. That's a question I want to pose. Why do y'all think he did not go to Adam? Why do y'all think he didn't go to Adam? I mean, you would think as a man coming to ask this type of question, what he about to ask her. You understand? Okay, matter of fact, Officer Yagadah, Salaki, sir, we could. Let's finish it up and then we can ask that question, right? Let's let them hear the question he about to ask this woman.
No sweat. And he said unto the woman, oh, Salaki. Oh, yeah. Okay, and he said unto the woman, yea, have the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
Now he go to her, he say, yeah, like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's subtle. He trying to sound cool. He like, yeah, didn't your power, tell you can't do such and such? Say you can't eat from this tree. You understand what I'm saying? Why would he go to this woman, right? And ask this woman this? Why did he not go to Adam? Now we can ask that question. Now that y'all know what he asked her, right? Remember this. I'm going to kind of give y'all the answer. Remember this now. The Lord gave Adam the laws and the commandments. Adam went and taught his woman, right? Because that's the order of things. That is the brotherly thing to do for your wife. You understand? We also have to understand this, right? Before any woman, as a man, as an Israelite man, before you sleep with any woman, before she becomes your wife, before she becomes the mother of your children, she is your sister first. We got to start seeing each other as brothers and sisters first. You understand? So the Lord gave Adam the law. He gave him the statutes and the commandments. He then in turn turned and taught his wife. Now, why would this devil, why would this serpent, why would this subtle beast not go to Adam and talk, but instead his woman? I'll give y'all a second or two.
All right, you got a couple of answers. Aqua Ferrari said his intentions were deceitful and conniving.
Right, right.
Truth McCall, y'all said because women have a way to convince a man to do things.
Oh, I want to stop right with that one. That's the main point right there, ain't it, sir? He couldn't took that mess to Adam. Adam probably would have hit him in the mouth. You understand? He couldn't have took that mess to Adam. But he knew it was a way that he could get to Adam. Because out of everything the Lord gave Adam, he loved his woman. The scripture says, for a man shall leave his father and his mother. As a man, you come into this earth born. Your mother and your father raise you. They raise you literally to become a husband. They raise you to become a husband. To take someone else's daughter and make her your wife, which means to make her your responsibility. And when she has children, if she bears you children, both of your jobs is to raise those children, so those children can in turn grow up and become husband and wives, which creates what? A nation of people. But before a nation can be built, rank, order, laws have to be established. And this is what the Lord did with Adam. He started with Adam first. Then, after he taught him the laws, then he gave Adam a wife. And let this be known too in this class too. This is the first role of brotherhood for a man, is to learn how to serve your power. Yes, we got brothers and sisters in the world, true enough. But I'm speaking just the plain truth. And I think Officer Yagadar and every other officer in this school would agree. If you are a sister, you understand, or a brother that does not have a wife or a husband, don't sleep with anybody. Come in here, clean yourself up, and learn how to be a man first. You learn how to be a woman. You both in turn learn how to be brothers and sisters, and then you can form a bond. Because let me tell y'all something. The only real man is a man that is coming up through these ranks right here, man, in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. And I stamp it. I stamp it. Officer Yagadar stamps it. Commanding General Yohana stamps it. You are not allowed to be a horrible husband. You are not allowed to be a horrible wife in this place. You are not. You will be perfect. Now, yes, we do have our problems. You know, we have our battles and our struggles. That's marriage. I ain't always gonna like you. You ain't always gonna like me. You ain't always gonna like your husband or your wife. Hell, sometimes Officer Yagadar, stop me if I'm wrong, but sometimes, you know, you ever had that moment where you sit in the car and be like, oh God, I gotta go here. I'm pretty sure brothers and sisters do that all the time. Man, damn, got to go in here, man. But when you go, sir, go ahead, sir.
I think the best way I've heard it explained, you know what I'm saying? Again, we that what you said was so heavy as far as us treating each other like brothers and sisters and like family. You don't stop being family because you're mad at one another. You don't stop loving one another because you're mad at one another. And in this kingdom, that's exactly what we are taught. In this kingdom, we're taught to pursue a childish endeavor of being happy 24 hours a day. So whenever I'm not happy, you're not my family anymore. If I'm not happy, I'm not your brother anymore. I'm not your sister anymore. And that's something that comes directly from this oppressor and directly from that Christian church. And the way
Right.
that we approach and deal with one another, again, it should be as a brother and as a sister. But I think you
Right.
hit it right on the head. We look at a woman, and the first thing we think is we want to get in the bed with that woman. We're not thinking about
Right.
I have to raise her, teach her, my actual roles that the Most High gave us. You know what I'm saying? So what you're
Right.
speaking on is very heavy right here. And coming in here, you will learn. You will
Right.
learn. And it works because that's the order that Christ gave us. That's the order that the Most High gave us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I yield.
Right. Come the water for that. Get that priest a hand, because this is what it's all about. You understand? And when you come in here, you can find and get these lessons from the beginning. This was the problem. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and the thing about it is if we could, sir, if we could drop that part and go down to bibbidi verse 6, sir. Now what we're gonna do is we just gonna skip down. We're gonna skip to verse 6. Now we got a little bit of backdrop of what happened. You know, this man then came from one of these other nations, right? Roundabout Adam and his wife came over there and told her, like, listen, man, y'all got this, your power, your God. He told you, don't do this, don't do that. If you can do this, but you can't do that. And if you do this, this is gonna happen, right? So this woman, once she have this conversation that she knows she shouldn't have had anyway, because what she should have did was this: she should have directed him to her husband, because her husband is her protector. That is the first rule of being a husband. That's why I said we have to learn how to be brothers and sisters first, because who's the first person as a child you learn to protect when you're a boy? If you got siblings, right? You learn to, my mama had 2 children. I'm the oldest and I got a younger sister. You understand what I'm saying? I was always taught to protect her, right? Have you ever heard someone say, your sister or your mama is like your first wife? You ever heard that term, Officer Yakada?
Kind of, I've heard that before.
And would you agree with that, sir?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Your sister's your first. It's your first big role as far as your protection. I think it's kind of miscued in the world. They I don't think they teach it the correct way in the world, but that's your family. That's your ride or die right there. And so that is one of the biggest responsibilities you get coming out the gate. But I definitely heard that before.
Right, and the way that I protected my sister, kept her from out of harm's way, kept boys. To this day, my sister ain't married. She is totally dedicated into her career. I always tell her she needed, but she don't care about all that. I got all the kids. My kids is her kids. You understand what I'm saying? She got them now. You understand what I'm saying? The thing about it is, it's like, my first role of being responsible was for her. When my mother had to go to work and my father was at work, I had to be the one to watch her. We didn't have money for babysitters. I started watching my sister while my mama went to work when I was 6 years old. You understand what I'm saying? So my first role, like a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure of, our first role was taking care of our siblings, right? And the way I took care of my sister, when I met the mother of my children when I was young, you understand what I'm saying? I took care of her the same way and protected her. I made sure nobody messed with her. I made sure if, she ate. You understand what I'm saying? Because I looked at the mother of my children, even though we were young, and even though I wasn't nowhere near the truth or even heard the truth, You understand? I felt, you understand, a responsibility to treat her like I treated my sister, because and I know we all heard this. If you do something crazy, you wouldn't want nobody to treat your sister like that. You wouldn't want nobody to treat your mama like that, or your brother, your daddy like that. And you know what? You right. I didn't want nobody coming and laying up with my sister and dogging her out. You understand? So I tried to lead the example and be the better way, and always think of my woman as my sister. Now, it didn't always work. It didn't always work because I didn't know what marriage was and things like that. But that was the beautiful thing of coming into the ISUPK. You got the first C. First, as a man, learn who you are. Clean yourself up. If you are not in the ISUPK and you are watching this broadcast, man, you can see me and Officer Yagadar. You understand? Clean yourself up, brother, because it starts with you. You got to come in here and learn what it is, what a man is. Because in this world, we don't know how to be men. You understand? And by us not being men, we gonna get in some real heavy stuff here that we gonna look at and shows what happens when we are not men, when we forget our first, our first beginning, right? So if we could, sir, go ahead and just if Bubba Kushar read verse 6.
Khan, I got you. This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food.
Right? It says when the woman saw the tree. Now, this tree that is talking about the tree of good and evil, right? And the Lord is comparing this tree basically represents what to do and what not to do. His laws, his statutes, and his commandments, right? If you go and you do this right here, this is the tree of life. If you obey the laws, you will live, right? If you go over here and do from this tree, eat from this tree, you'll perish, right? You'll die. You'll be unalive, right? Go ahead, sir.
And that it was pleasant to the eyes.
So Eve, talking to this man, saw that, looking at this tree, like, okay, we got this right here. We can do this, but this over here look good. She looked at this other side and was like, man, this look good. Maybe we can do this. Maybe we can do what they doing, right? Go ahead.
And a tree to be desired to make one wise.
And she saw it and she desired of it to the point where she thought that it would make her wise. She thought it would give her the knowledge to everything going on around her. You understand? She thought that she would become as God and know the things that the Most High knows. You understand what I'm saying? She thought she would be equal to her husband. Right? And understand this. I see this so much with brothers and sisters and in their marriage. I want to walk on the side of my husband and all of this. Listen, sis, play your role, man. To lead is to lead. You become one with your husband. But what that means is you become as your husband. If Eve would have became as Adam was, then guess what? There's no way that this serpent would have beguiled her. There's no way. Because she would have had the same mind as her husband. Listen, man, I'm going to do what my husband told me to do. My husband said this. My husband said that. Go to my husband. Right? Go ahead, sir, Bubba Kushar.
She took of the fruit thereof.
So she took of the fruit thereof. She took of whatever idea or whatever petty thing that she thought that she wanted to do. She took that, right? Go ahead, sir.
And did eat.
And she enjoyed it. She partook. When it's saying eat, it means she partook in it. So whatever this thing is that she wanted to do, she partook in it. She learned it. She learned this habit or this thing right? Go ahead, sir, Bubba Kashaw.
And gave also unto her husband with her.
And did what, sir?
And gave also unto her husband with her.
I want to ask y'all a question. If the Most High gave Adam the law, right, made him responsible, right, why when the woman brought this thing or whatever to him, the representation is a fruit, why would she bring this to him, and why would he take it and eat? Can anybody answer me that?
It's like, if I may, this is so on point, especially with it being the holiday seasons. With it being the holiday season, I know if any, you say you got children, I got children. I remember that was one of the first big struggles in the marriage when them kids got here and Christmas rolled around. As a man, now again, I'm not in the truth, but I ain't want to teach them about no doggone Santa Claus. I don't work too hard for these damn gifts. You know what I'm saying? Not that we should be buying them anyway, but I didn't want to teach them that, you know, some fat white man was coming through the chimney with some gifts. You know what I'm saying? But you fight with that family. Well, let them be kids. They only gonna be children once. And again, because it was coming from the mother, coming from the grandmother, coming from the mother-in-law, you know what I'm saying? It warmed down. So when it's getting to the answer that you're looking for from everybody. But this is right on point with the holiday seasons.
Right. And I was just about to say, sir, the water for that. Thanksgiving is the fruit. Thanksgiving is the fruit that Eve took. We're going to use that. We're going to say that. You understand? Thanksgiving, right? Why did Adam do, instead of doing what God told him to do, why did he do what his wife told him to do? Anybody can answer that. It's real simple. It's real simple. I'll ask it to you like this. What did he do in the moment that he partook in what she partook in? What did he do? He relinquished. I really don't want to give y'all the answer, but I'm gonna just say he relinquished something to her. I'll give y'all that. That's all I'm gonna give you. I'll give y'all a couple seconds to try to answer that. What did he do? What did he relinquish by partaking in something that she brought to him?
All right, you got one answer. We got a couple answers coming in. Aqua the bar said he was weak under his woman. Trooper McCoy Yala said authority.
That give them both a hand, because that is exactly what happened. He gave up his authority and became weak under his woman. Y'all can't see that's what's going on today. The most unbrotherly thing in this world started because a woman was out of order, took that out of orderness to her husband, and her husband made himself weak under her and gave up his authority. He gave up what the Lord. This is what all this is about. Y'all do know that, right? Y'all do understand that, right? This is what everything is about. This is what Christ came for, all the prophets and everything, right? Was to give us back the authority over the earth that we gave away. You understand? Our forefather Adam gave this authority away and made himself weak under his woman, right? And now we have all of this unbrotherly activity, all this unsisterly activity going on. We break the laws of the Most High, and we just can't get it right. Officer Yagadov, we could, sir, if we could go with that first video with the young sister in the church.
You do have another comment. Trooper McCoy Yala said, is this similar to government assistance to get a man out of the house, or am I off?
No, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct, because that's what Eve said. That's what Eve made up in her mind. Like, listen, I'm going to listen to this brother. I ain't listening to what my husband's saying. My husband is following this, whatever he's getting, this God of his that is giving him this law or giving him these rules, he's following it to a T. You understand? It's not exciting to her. It's not exciting to her anymore. This over here seems much more exciting. It seems like it's better for me to do. It's better for me to celebrate Christmas. It's better for me to celebrate Thanksgiving. It's for my kids. It's better for me to forget about this man, have his babies, leave him so I can get a place to stay and I can get free money and I don't have to work. He can stay wherever. You understand? This is why all of this happened. This is why Planned Parenthood is here. This is why the Housing Authority exists. Because our women, right, chose to replace what she wanted. She became unbrotherly, unsisterly to her husband. And her husband became ungodly and he became unbrotherly to her because he did not keep his authority. Let me tell you something. The best thing he could have did was told her no. If you got a husband in the UPK and you in the chat, what's the number one thing you probably hear from him all the time? No. No. N-O. Matter of fact, you hear hell no. Hell no, you ain't going to your mama house this week. Hell no, you can't do this. And if you do it, that's you. Go ahead. The Lord gonna deal with you. Something gonna happen. Something gonna happen. A tie gonna go flat a couple weeks, and you gonna have to fix it on your own. Because I ain't going. You going over the young dog? I told you not to go.
Not after I done told you not to go.
Yeah, I told you not to go. But you went, got a nail in the tie, now the tie flat. Fix it yourself.
And now, Slacky, if I have to go, I'm damn sure gonna point out the fact. Now, you know, this all could have been avoided had you just listened and followed the instructions that were given. You know what I mean? It's amazing how in that damn church they believe that, and you're gonna see in this video, they swear up and down God is talking to them. But when they get that flat, they get that nail in that tie, that ain't God there. That's the devil there. That ain't God all of a sudden then. So you know, but you absolutely correct though. Yeah, that you're gonna hear no, and no is that's love. That's love. Right. That's definitely love. But whenever you're ready, we can run it.
All right, just to give y'all a little backdrop about this. This is the number one, like I said, this is the number one problem in the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community right now. This has been the problem in Israel since Eve. This is why we call our women naive. To be naive means to be nigh unto Eve, which is your mother, and y'all are just like her. This is some of the most naive and horrible things. This is something so horrible. And you want to know something? It's crazy because I done been in this position too in the church. Right. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have. If y'all had a family that went to church, I was in one of them churches too. When you said that they tried to, you got a demon and they slap you in your head and they just slapping the hell out you. They grabbing you by your neck like Homer grabbed Bart and choking you to get a demon out you, and you 8 years old. I'm 8. I have a demon, and I'm 8. And it's all because these silly women go in these churches, right, when they're not supposed to. Let me tell you something. These Edomites, the white man, right? They had a woman named Hillary Clinton. This country, these women here was ready to give that white woman the keys to the cities. One officer, y'all get off.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you something. I have never seen the college electoral vote used so swiftly. That damn woman won twice. She had the highest numbers, I think, ever, right? In the presidential race. The white man had enough sense to say, you know what? Hell no, we're going to get him Barack Obama. We're going to get him this African. The white man rather put a African playing as a black man and with his black woman and his black nappy-headed church. They rather put them in the White House before they put a white woman in the White House.
And Salakia, just to add to what you're saying, the white woman as well. A lot of those white women did the same thing they did with the feminist movement. They were getting the sisters. They had the sisters thinking that they was all for Hillary, but when they came out of that, they went into that voting booth. They chose Barack too. The same way when they went in there and they chose Trump. So it's the exact same thing. They got more sense to know that woman cannot be in charge. So even that the white woman didn't vote for Hillary. Just like that white woman refused to vote for Kamala. You know what I mean? So what you're saying is absolutely correct. Yeah.
Right. Come on. And every other nation knows this. Every nation knows this. You understand? This ain't nothing new. This ain't cutting you sisters down. This ain't saying that you ain't nobody in society or you're not important. It's just not your role. It's not your position to lead. The Lord told Adam these laws because it was up to him to lead. He put him in the leadership role. And after we watch this, we're going to get right into that verse that says that. Because this might have to turn into a two-part, sir. Because this heavy.
It is. This is a very, very, very rough video.
Come. And this is a rough video to watch, right? If you could, sir, go ahead.
Teacher, it's not about that right now. You're going to say what you're really thankful for. We're going to start off with Sister Penelope.
Salakia, sir. Can you stop it right there, sir? First of all, this sister right here, right now, this is in the church. We're gonna get to that 1 Timothy 2:11 because that's exactly where we going. We going there. But y'all heard what the sister said, right? She told them basically, we don't want to hear you thankful for nobody else, not the teacher, not the school, not your friends. We don't want to hear that. What do y'all think she's telling them they want to hear? Just based off what Salakia, sir, if you could wind it back and play that clip. This is the question I posed for y'all in the comments and y'all watching. Why would she say this to this child? What was she trying to get this child to do? If you could, sir, go ahead.
For your friends. I don't want to hear you thankful for your teacher. It's not about that right now. You're going to say what you're really thankful for. We're going to start off with Sister Penelope.
Stop it right there, sir. What is she trying to imply? I'm going to see if y'all get it because this is going to be in the video. But I just want to see if y'all can see what this evil spirit in this sister. This is very unsisterly. First of all, these women have no place standing up in there talking, telling nobody nothing what to do when it comes to the Bible. They had no place putting themselves in authority because this is what the authority of a woman demands. Anybody know what she was trying to actually get her to say? You know what? Hold it. It's the answer about to come right here. Go ahead, sir.
For your teacher, it's not about that right now. You're going to say what you're really thankful for. We're going to start off with Sister Penelope.
I'm thankful for my stepmom because she's
Stop it right there, sir. Salaki, sir. Salaki, sir. Did she just say she was thankful for her stepmother? She just said, this baby just said she was thankful for her stepmother, right? Her stepmother. So obviously, this child's father is in her life. Now, I can guarantee you this. She wanted to say she was thankful for her father, but she can't say that. Our women teach our children that they don't need their daddy. That sister in the beginning was basically trying to get her to say she's thankful for her mother. That is diabolical. If you need to have that much assurance that you're a good mother or you're doing a good job, that you would do a child like this. And this ain't even the half of it. This is just the beginning of a nightmare. Then sis, listen, y'all know how y'all always need that. What's the word I'm looking for, sir? What are women always looking for? Gratification, gratitude, or some type of
that instant gratification.
Con, that's the word I'm looking for. But a child can't give it to their father. That baby wanted to say she was thankful for her father, but she couldn't say that. She sure wasn't thankful for her mother, so she said, "I'm thankful for my stepmother." Right now, watch this. Go ahead.
Did have one comment. Said Christian church allows them to use fear and intimidation.
Damn right, sis. They do. That, like, listen, man. The Lord never told you to beat him into your children. But the bigger thing is this. Trust this. This child, she's not going to grow up and hate her father. She's not going to grow up and hate her stepmother. She's not going to grow up and hate her mother. You know who she is going to grow up and hate? I'm going to give y'all 5 seconds. I'm going to see if y'all can answer that. I'm going to give y'all half the answer. The place where they at is church, right? Who is that little girl gonna grow up to hate? I'll give y'all a couple seconds to answer that. Because all of us that grew up in the Christian church, we were that little girl. We were that child. And we all grew up. Not so much as hating our father and our mother or our step-parents or our grandma or our auntie. For time's sake, I'm gonna give it to you. She may hate her mother, she may not, but the church, you right there, sis. Not so much the church, but that baby's going to grow up and hate God. She's going to blame God for what they're doing to her right now, because that church is supposed to be the representation of God. When the representation of God and the person who's supposed to teach the children about God are the men of Israel. It's a scripture that says, "For my flock are the men of Israel." It is our duty to lead the people. It is our duty to lead the women. It is our duty to lead the children. It is our duty to also lead the men who are not priests to do what the Lord said, man. Listen, man, Salakia, sir, it's a wall right here. I want to run through it. I do, sir. I want to just take my head and run through the damn wall and run into the soul food place. Because this is crazy. This is crazy. Now, continue to watch this. Go ahead, sir, Bubba Kashar, if you could, sir. Salakia, sir, is that the mother?
I'm not sure that Yeah, I'm not sure if that is the mother or not. That may very well be.
Because Salaki, sir, if I may, she came up there, that sister right there. She say, no, what you not gonna do is not do that. We gonna do this right. We gonna do it over. Now another woman that came, I thought this was church. I thought it was supposed to be some order. This ain't nothing but a girls club to me. That's what this is. Now, just for further, just to further let y'all know what's gonna happen, right? What, Salaki, sir? Could you tell them what they do to this child towards the end of the video, sir? Just because she didn't want to say, just because she did not want, just because she told her truth, she just told what she was thankful for, and because she did not give her mother the instant gratification that she wanted, because that baby really wanted to say she was thankful for her father. You understand? Listen to what Officer Yagadar is about to tell y'all. Bubba Kushah, please, sir.
Oh, no sweat. Yeah, the video, the actual video is actually about a good 10 minutes long. And it's such a hard video to watch because this goes on for about 10 minutes. And the little clip that I made, I kind of fast forward. I gave you like the beginning part of it. In the middle, in the beginning, it's gonna be this other sister come up. She's like the ringleader of the hen house. You know what I'm saying? She said she grew up in the church, and this is the apostle gave us a mission, and this is what we gonna do. She gonna start speaking in tongues and habba shabba the whole nine, and they gonna start hitting the girl upside the head, anointing her with oil. The whole time, pretty much shortly right after this part right here, the girl starts to cry. So she's up there crying probably for about a good eight minutes, just full out tears, crying again, not knowing what to say, can't say what she want to say. And it's like I said, it's a really disturbing video to watch. It's a disturbing video to watch. I'll play a little bit more, let you just kind of see where it headed at when it got to the end. When they speaking in tongues and everything else in the beginning.
Come on, come, sir. Like,
and I don't know if anybody's ever spoke before. The brothers in here, they know we're trained to speak. It's not an easy thing to do to get up in front of a crowd to speak to begin with. And for something like this, I've been in this situation in church before. I've seen children in this situation like this in church before. You're forced to perform and put on a show. You're forced to put on an act. And then when you get older, like you say, it's an act with God. This is why you see so much acting now. You'll see the catchphrases. Jesus take the wheel, and it's all an act. And we act and we perform and we put on the show, then we go back in the world and do whatever we want because we were taught right here in church. No problems are being solved. When I did this video right here, like I said, this is child abuse, what you're watching. This is child abuse that you're watching right here. This is the beginning of socio behavior disorders. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing how to behave with society and other. It starts right here. You know what I'm saying? My wife, Deborah, said she saw the video all the way through. If I were the father, I would take this straight to court and get custody of her. And that's just how bad the video gets as you continue to watch it. You know what I'm saying? And she is absolutely, it actually, I mean, like I said, for about 8 minutes, they stand up there and they're berating the girl, and you're not going to do this and you're not going to do that. If you watch the reaction of the other children, what you see is they've already learned to conform. They've learned to perform. They've learned to put the show on. This is why if you know anybody that's was raised in the church or knew the path, they always say that PK. They said the PK was the worst kids in the church. They said the PK, if that was the girl, them the preacher's kids. They said them damn preacher's kids, the daughters was the ones that was doing everything at the lock-ins. You know what I'm saying? The sons became the sodomites. Why? Because they learned how to pretend and put this act on, which is what you see these other children doing. When you see the children jumping up and down and stuff, they catching the spirit and talking like the past. All they're doing is mimicking that behavior that they've seen them. But because she's trying to be sincere, because she's trying to be sincere. She's not trying to lie. She's not trying to mimic the behavior. She's being ridiculed and berated for it as a result of it. So you're demonizing her honesty. Like you said before, she probably wants to say she appreciates her father, but she realizes that saying that she appreciates a man in that role in that house is not allowed. So I will say I appreciate my stepmother. And lo and behold, that's not allowed either, because that's an extension of the father. You know what I'm saying? So again, I don't know which one is the mother. I try to get to the end to where they jumping around, pretending like they talking in tongues. But this is where a lot of our psychological disorders come from.
Right. And Salaki, sir, if I could, just to say this, what you know, we ain't bashing nobody, but I want to say this first. Like I say, I want to start with the men. And when I say this is what you do, brother, when you don't be a man. When you don't tell that woman to shut her damn mouth. When you tell her, when you don't tell her what she will eat, when you don't tell her what she will wear, when you don't tell her how she will carry herself, this is what happens. You have children with a monster. And if you don't stand up and change your woman first you got to have yourself together, Negro. You can't tell your woman not to be something and she sees you doing it. You can't tell her to stop smoking weed and you smoking weed. You can't tell her not to eat pork and you sitting there eating pork. You can't pull these scriptures and tell her to do the scriptures and you not doing them. With that being said, you can't be weak under your woman. That is not brotherly, and it destroys us all. Not keeping the law is unbrotherly, because the laws teach you how to treat each other. Just because a man is an authority and is to rule over you, sis, does not mean he doesn't care for you. Does not mean he doesn't love you. It proves all the much. Because when you go and you do your look, the Lord made you, right? It is your right as a woman to be emotional. It's your right. He made you the weaker vessel. It's no problem. Listen, no man, no brother coming up and learning these scriptures and learning these laws and statutes and commandments and learn how to carry himself. He understands. Yeah, we get angry sometimes because it's like, man, like, where you going? You know, like, but if you're a sister that truly loves the Most High, then you will look at your husband as such. Look at him as such. But brother, when you go out there and don't keep yourself in order, this is what we are making. This is what we are allowing. But the other one said is, this is child abuse. Yeah. And I'm gonna just let him play this video to the part, because this is
and Salaki, I just wanted to say, you know, something that was taught to me. You know what I'm saying? Our oppressors are the ones who appointed these pastors to be in charge. They are the ones that planted them into our communities and our families and so forth. That apostle or that pastor that the oppressor appointed, well, he appointed them to be in charge. He gave them that authority that the Bible says that they're not supposed to usurp authority over a man. That pastor gave them that authority because that oppressor put him in power and gave him that authority to take away from us. And it all trickles down. You see that young boy right there in the orange shirt? He'll grow up and he'll do the same thing. He'll be the one that grow up and say, well, happy wife, happy life. He'll be the one that'll grow up and he'll step back and he'll allow his woman or his wife to take the children to church and repeat this same cycle over and over again. And all it does is remove the man from that position that the Lord put him in. So the position that God put us in to be the head, it's all repeated as us being removed out of that spot all because of the initial plan or plot that this oppressor has. I'm gonna play a little bit more of it. You know what I'm saying? I know we got another video to get to, but again, it's a very disturbing video. You'll see her come up now. I don't know if that's the mother or the other one is the mother.
Right.
One thing about our church, like our chief apostle stated, the dust has settled. It's settled.
Christianity. And see, and I just wanted to show that because, like I said, she's the ringleader. She's that ringleader. I guarantee she done ran every nigga she could. She done ran him out the house. And if it is one there now, he that one you was talking about, Officer Yaquab. He rolled up in that parking lot in that driveway, and he sit there for about 37 minutes. About 37 minutes, he sit there looking at his phone. You know what I'm saying? Hoping she had a long day at work and she is laying down asleep when he get in his damn house because he don't want to hear it. He know when he hit this door, you know what I'm saying? The same way she done grabbed that microphone in this church. Oh, she's waiting on him to come to that door. You feel me? So again, but it starts here though. I'm just gonna fast forward. I did a little bit of talking there. As you can see in the video, is like I said, there's one man. He was probably in that young man you saw with that orange shirt on. That was probably him in his younger years. He probably grew up in that church as well. Now you see they done brought the reinforcements in. The reinforcements come in. They all got to lay hands on the child. They got to lay hands on the child and pray for the child. All things that the Bible tells us not to do. All things that the Bible tells us not to do. He is the only man you're going to see there. And even in the video there, you will see he coming up and he dapping her on the head. You know what I'm saying? This is child abuse. And if this was my child in that situation, I'm raising what they call holy hell. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to get to, like I said, this goes on for about 10 minutes. So you imagine, now you see the ones who pretended and played nice. They played their part, so they let them sit down. But she's still up there. You know what I'm saying? Like she said, she would grow up and she would absolutely hate everything about that church. She will not believe in a God. She would think that it's all make-believe because they made her stand up there and play make-believe. They made me stand up here and play make-believe, say some magic words, then I could sit down. If I would have just said the magic words, I could have sat down. So now I'll spend the rest of my life saying what I need to say so I can get the response or reaction that I want. And this is the problem with us. This is why we do the things we do. This is why we've replaced morality with magic. We've replaced morality with magic and chants and sayings when that has no substance to it and it's not in the Bible. I just wanted to get to this. Like I said, last part, the ringleader is going to come back up. You can see on this child's face. Again, she. Now and I found this part right here to be so disturbing. It was amazing because Cap had just spoke on this. Cap had just spoke on this in this last scripture breakdown class when he talked about that, how that blood of Jesus and just how sick and how twisted and how demented that is. That blood of Jesus, they're so quick to invoke the pain, the suffering, the death of our King, but you don't do anything that our King said to do. You don't do anything that he said to do, but you invoke his death. You invoke the suffering that he took, the beating that he took, the ridicule. The blood of Jesus, when you don't follow a damn thing that he said to do. It's one of the most sickening things about this video I found was this very last part of it.
God is not with these churches. Christianity is white.
You can hear I was a little hot watching it.
Right.
And this is child abuse.
And I'll end it there. Like I said, it went on for about 8-10 minutes. It's an amazing video, and this is happening every day in all of our churches. And where they're at, they're down in Texas, and I know you know Officer Yaquab because you're from the South. And I don't want to offend nobody in the crowd. You know, they swear up and down Virginia is the South up here, Officer Yaquab. They swear up it, but I'll say it for you. I ain't gonna. I'll say it for you, Officer Yaquab. Virginia is not the damn South. It's Southern a little bit, but it's not the South. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I ain't gonna let Officer Yaquab. I'll take the hit on that one. I'll take the hit on that one. You know,
no, it is not, sir. So
I'll take the hit on that. Y'all ain't got to be mad at Officer Yaquab. Officer Yaquab, I said it. But the further south you get on that Bible belt, what they call that Bible belt, the deeper they get into church. you have it again. You got churches all over. You know what I'm saying? Again, Christianity affects us on a wide scale, all throughout the tribes, all over the world. But that South is different. They're not just gonna go to church on Sunday. They're gonna be to church on Monday. They're gonna have Bible study on Tuesday. They're gonna come back again on Wednesday. They're gonna have a special service on third, and this is a weekly thing. I got sent. I'm from Chicago originally, right? Obviously, y'all side note, right? I got sent to Mississippi. I got sent to damn Mississippi because my folks are from Mississippi down there from the Delta. I got sent down there for a summer. I will never forget that summer in my whole entire life. Well, I went down there. I ain't like going to church any damn way. We went to church every day of the week. We went to church every day of the week. They had something going on in this damn church. And then because it was summertime, they messed around and had a revival week while I was down there. So that southern, you know what I'm saying? Like I was about that capital of the Confederacy. Yeah, that's not the South. It ain't the South. I was sometimes but you saw his response. I don't know if you saw that. Obviously, Yaquan. But again, that South, that South, right? She's in church all the time. You hear everybody in the background. That's an everyday, all day thing, and it just gets drilled into you there. And it's again, it's child abuse. It really is. But to get to Officer Mataza Al-Kharaj's response, how you gonna say the capital of the Confederacy ain't the South? It ain't the South. I say it again, you know. But again, I take the hit. You know what I'm saying?
So like, sir, if I may, it ain't the South when it comes to that damn church.
It definitely ain't. It definitely ain't.
Listen, when you said revival, my skin crawled. Listen, man, you know how many revivals I went to? Listen, just to get on that, I think I was telling y'all, I forgot who I was telling. I know I was telling some of the brothers. It's this thing called
Watch Night. Yeah, Watch Night. Now, they do have that here in Virginia. They do have that in some spots in Virginia. So
let me tell y'all something, man. Watch Night was the most evil thing that I could think of in church. Besides them, when you go to the Pentecostal church, you know, in the South, the Pentecostal church, that's where they beat you across your head and they slap you and they make you, you know, you actually do it.
Yep.
I remember at 10 years old, my lips started quivering, and it felt like something came into me and made me speak this language. Yep. Then when you know, when you get older and you think about it, it was only because they was forcing you. Somebody has the back of your head with their hand, and they're taking this hand and pushing in the middle of your forehead. I don't think the Lord give you a headache, do it? He come to you. I didn't know. You know, I thought the headache God belonged to the Arabs.
Salaki. I think they call it mob. What they call? I think they call it group psychosis, and it's another word for it as well. Damn, I just had it. It'll come back to me. But yeah, it'll come back to me. But that's that group psychosis. That's what happens when you got a group of people in. They've done studies on stuff like this, right? They've done studies. I don't know if everybody's seen if they remember Men in Black. If you remember that movie Men in Black, it's a scene in it when Will Smith goes in and everybody's doing a little test with mass hysteria. Exactly. The water officer Mataz mass hysteria. When he goes in and they're doing the test, and he's the only one that grabs the paper or pulls the table to him to do the test. When everybody else is they cramped up trying to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? But he's the only one that does it because he was the only one that didn't do what the rest of the group did. And that's just something that in psychology, something that people just have a tendency to do. So again, with that mass hysteria, when you have somebody like the oppressor in charge, when you have them in charge, that wreaks havoc on the earth. And so we started to think like him. We started to see things like him. We started to believe in things like the lesser of two evils. When anybody with common sense would say, well, both of them are evil, why would I choose the lesser of them? But when that's the mob mentality or mass hysteria, that's what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? And so you are absolutely correct. I will say last thing in defense of Virginia. Virginia is because it's so close to your like the DC and Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland, Baltimore, and New York, because it's so close to them, you just have a lot of influences on both sides of it. You have some pockets of Virginia that's very southern, but the thing about the South, it's all southern all over. That's how it is. Like Officer Yaquab is speaking. So you got a chance to get away from it a little bit here in Virginia. A little bit of a chance. But now I feel sorry for that sister going through that, and a lot of our brothers and sisters going through it. And even though those other children weren't up there crying, they didn't stick out like her. Best believe they're being affected just as much. They're being affected. I remember getting baptized in church for the third time and wondering why I'm still, you know what I'm saying, why I'm still doing the things that I was doing out in the world and wasn't nothing changing. You know what I'm saying? Trying to do the right thing. And that sister may initially have started out by trying to do the right thing, saying the right thing. She probably is thankful for her stepmother. She probably finally got a woman that she can damn it talk to. She probably got a woman that she can finally talk to. She finally sees how her father is able to interact with a woman and it's not problematic or chaotic. So she's thankful for it, but she's not allowed to say it in there. And that's the problem. The thing about what I love about the ISUPK more than anything, it's transparent in here. We don't hide anything in here. You know what I'm saying? We don't hide anything. It's transparent in here. The way that our brothers deal with the sisters and vice versa is dealt with in a righteous order, the order that the Most High gave us. You know what I'm saying? And I yield right there that you get back to it.
Damn right, sir. Give that priest a powerful hand, man. Because listen, man, we just got to understand this. And like I said, sir, this is going to have to be a two-part. Because to understand what true brotherhood and sisterhood is, it has to start with the man and the woman. It has to start with the man and the woman. Because the Lord created all of this from a man and a woman. He gave this man these laws. He put him in a position of authority. Brother, you have to be brotherly, you have to be in your authority. You are absolutely unbrotherly if you are not in your authority. Why? Because you are the leader. These Christian churches that all this keep happening. You want to know the saddest part? I'm gonna tell you something, sir, that was even more sadder than what was happening to that child. You want to know what it was, sir?
What's that?
That weak brother that sat there and watched that. He was not in charge. He had no rank in that place, sir.
That's right.
If they would have cooked food and served food, he would have ate last.
Yep. He would have been putting his gloves on to make sure he served everybody first. You know what I mean?
He would have been serving everybody. You absolutely right, sir. He would have put the gloves on and asked everybody if they wanted a piece of cake because he's sweet. Yep. He's sweet daddy.
And look, Salakia, what's so heavy about that though, and it's so dangerous because he shows that little boy what it is to be a man. He also shows the rest of them women in there what it is to be a man. So now the husband or the father of that girl that stood up there with the stepmom, now he's a bad man. He's a bad man because he's not in here subjecting himself to this like this man is here, this God-fearing man that they see in here now. And so again, it's such a poison, you know what I'm saying, just to see him in that role. And you notice it wasn't a lot of brothers in there. It wasn't a lot of brothers in there because that church is not a space where a real man is going to be able to, that how they say, they call masculinity toxic now. You know what I'm saying? So masculinity is not going to thrive in that Christian church. You're going to have to compromise that. The only one that's allowed to be masculine in the Christian church is the pastor. He's the only one. Everybody else has to bow down because all the women are going to serve that pastor. They'll serve him. You know what I'm saying? They'll serve him and he'll get up there and put on a show and tell the other men to bow down and listen to their wives. You know what I'm saying? And again, so you are absolutely correct. He there holding the girl in place. He done ran and grabbed the oil to put on the girl head. And while everybody else is running around and speaking in tongues and pleading the blood, when, like you said before, the Lord said that the sheep of my pastor are men, the flock of my pastor are men. You know what I'm saying? It says that Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a man of war. We all have roles to play. We got a position to play. There's an order. You know what I'm saying? And for everybody that loves Christ so much, nobody likes to respect that order. They don't respect that order. They don't respect that Bible. They don't respect the Most High. They don't respect his laws, his statutes, or his commandments. They don't respect the consideration for us to even have our historical records after all these years of captivity. After all these years of captivity and all of our disobedience, just the fact that we even still have it, you know what I'm saying? And our women don't respect it. And again, when you watch these old videos, I'm gonna do a clip on one of them. If not tonight, probably tomorrow. Again, and it's such a powerful clip because they talk about the family unit. And what you realize in this video is we didn't have an identity. And they stole that from us. That church stole that identity. They said, this is what it means to be a man. This is what it means to be a woman. This is what it means to be a family. And just like you said, every society on the earth knows that the family unit, that's the core resource, the core principle. Everything is built off of the family unit. Everybody knows that. Every society you see is built off of that family unit. So when you destroy that family structure, you destroy the people. Period. If there's no family, there's no family unit, you destroy the people. And for us, we have a specific way our families are supposed to run. And we try to run our families like the white man do his families. We try to raise our families like the East Indians and everybody's drug addicts and it doesn't work for us. It doesn't work for us. It doesn't matter what nobody else does with their family. It doesn't work for our family, and that's the problem. Like, you can't be having me. Come on here, Officer Yaquab. I get the.
Hey, listen, that's why I had you come on here. You understand what I'm saying? Because I mean, like this, it's the thing about it is like it's sickening, man. Like this is why we are so weak as a people, man. Because we got our men going to Louisiana, putting on red dresses and running around the French Quarter in a dress. They got two pieces on. You understand what I'm saying? Like we are totally lost as a people, man. That is unbrotherly for a man to put on woman's clothing. You want your son to grow up and be like that? I remember one time when I was little, I went in my grandma's closet, right? And I put on a pair of her heels. I was a little boy. I was like 5 or 6. I was just trying to dress up to be funny. Man, when I tell you, when I came around that corner, my mama
Florida.
What? Listen, my mama slapped me. My mama slapped me through. You know how on Dragon Ball Z when they be hitting them and they go through all man, my mama slapped me into the next door neighbor house. I never did that crap again.
So like I think that's that coming high. I ain't know. I know a little bit of it. Yeah, she hit you.
She hit me with one. You understand? And I never did that again. And she explained, and like my grandma was there. My grandma was kind of, you know, she told you didn't have to hit him like that. But my grandma came over there and told me, and they sat down and they told me, they was like, listen, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you let your child do something one time, then guess what? He gonna do it again, and then guess what? He gonna go outside and he gonna see it. And in that Christian church, this all you see.
Yep.
Tambourine man. It's nothing but the tambourine man in there.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? They stomping, they cut. You got grown men holding their hands up, crying in the church, falling out, dancing stupid.
Yep.
And the women just in there telling them what to do.
And it's a lot. What you're saying is so heavy because we never see the white man in that position, and that's what. So he is the sheriff, he the police officer, he the hero in all the TV shows. You don't see Superman doing that. You never see
Right.
that. Whenever you see them more in the movies or television, it's in jest. It's a joke. It's not for real. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but for us, it's for real. And this is why we've lost the position and power and authority. Authority, just like you hit when you first started reading Genesis in the beginning. That authority, that's what Adam gave up. That's what he gave
Right.
up. And that's what we've given up, you know what I'm saying, as men. But the only place you're going to get that back and learn how to get it back. Some of us take the wrong way. We know we're supposed to be in charge, but you're dealing with a dragon. So you don't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean? So you want to get down to her level. You want to throw hands and put hands on her at her level. You know what I mean? You want to be a tyrant, and that's not the way to do it, because that's not where your power is at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You said something so heavy when you said that we're brothers and sisters, and you should look at her like a sister. You know what I'm saying? Look at them like a brother. And the thing about having, if you're a brother and you got a rib, you know what I'm saying, and think about you dealing with a woman, you got to realize that your role is not her role. You can't argue and fight with her the way that she's trying to get you to argue and fight with her. The minute you lower yourself to that level and you yelling back and forth with her, and now it's an actual fight, you done lost your authority now, because you don't put her on your level now, when that's not the case. She the Lord did never put her there. You've been put in a position that she wasn't even supposed to be in. You know what I mean? And that's how we again go in these battles unequipped. Like you said, that brother sitting in that damn parking lot, that dreading to go inside that house, because that woman, she on his level. She loud on his level. That might have that one in that yellow, that might have been her husband that was going around, you know what I'm saying, making sure everybody was taken care of. You know,
and we're gonna pull the rest of what was in First Timothy, because that was so important. If I could, sir, get First Timothy chapter 2. We'll start at verse 11, sir. Bubba Kashab, please.
No sweat. This is First Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection.
Listen, man, let the woman learn in silence. Now, this does not mean that you can't ask a question. You understand? Doesn't mean that you can't voice your, a concern, ask a question, or state an opinion, right? But what you do have to understand, even at the end of the day, you are to be into subjection. You are to subjugate yourself. You understand? To your husband. And if you are a sister that is not married, you subjugate yourself to the men over you, which are the priests and the prophets, who teach you how to do what? How to be a woman, how to be a sister, how to be a wife. A woman cannot teach. Go ahead, sir.
No, go ahead and finish. I want you to finish your point, Salaki.
A woman cannot teach a man how to be a man, but a man can teach a woman how to be a damn good woman. You know how? Because the Lord gave him the way to do it. He showed him how to do it. The first part to doing that is this. Let the woman learn in silence. Shut your mouth when someone is teaching. That video, those women could not shut their mouths. That brother could not tell those women to shut their mouth and stop being foolish. He couldn't. That little boy that was sitting right there, he just learned how to be up under his woman. You know how detrimental that is to our people? When the numbers prove that single parent, black mother homes, this way all of this unaliving coming from. This why little Pookie don't need to be free. You need to keep little Pookie, because his mama done let him run up and down the damn street all day doing what he want to do, and y'all know it. You know how it's right now. If somebody mess with your child, you gonna go and somebody come to you and say, "Listen, man, this is what your kid out here doing. somebody gonna get hurt. Because you know why? Nothing's gonna, that as a single parent mom, you know what she gonna do? Oh, you don't talk to my baby like that. And now somebody getting shot. When if it was men out there, and a man could come to another man and say, look, brother, this right here happened. And guess what? That brother look at him and say, listen, don't worry about it. You ain't got to worry about it. It won't happen again. But first, brothers, you got to keep your authority. That's the only way your women can learn. You have to be brotherly. Because no one, you know how they'll be silent? Because they know what you're telling them to do, you do. Mm-hmm. Being brotherly at the top of this is following the Most High as a man, as a black man, a Native Indian man, and a Hispanic man. If you want this thing to change for us, man, come in here, brother. Change your damn life, man. Stop being a coward. It's not your fault. It's not. But at some point, you have to take accountability. We all, every brother in this school under Commanding General Yohana has taken accountability. I was a drug dealer. You know how Paul say, the chief said, let me tell you something. I ain't gonna get into it, but I was one of them. Like, for real, for real. You understand? But, and this happened to me, even though I had, you know, to me, I think I had a good upbringing because I was taught morals. I was taught to respect my elders. You know what I'm saying? My father was, and my mother, they were married. They was there a little bit, then he left. You know what I'm saying? He was always still in my life. You know what I'm saying? I would go to see him and things like that. And he would be there, but he ain't in the house with me. My mama still got to go to work and pay bills. And when there's no parents in the home, guess what? Children do what they want. All women are making themselves single mothers. Like it is a trophy. Why? Because a man tell you you can't put something on. He good enough for you to lay on your bike. Just open your legs and have a whole person shoot from in between your legs. He good enough for that. But he ain't good enough to tell you, listen, man, the Lord said don't celebrate Thanksgiving. The Lord said don't celebrate Christmas. The Lord said such and such. The Lord said such and such. That word in this scripture right here, where it says, let the women learn in silence with all subjection. You should you should subjugate yourself to your husband and to the men who are over you. Period.
And Salakia, I just wanted to say something, speak something on that, because what you said, I'm glad you went right back to it. That word subject and subjection, it's amazing how we have no problem. Our women have no problem subjecting themselves to America. They don't have those problems subjecting themselves to America philosophies, ideas, ideologies, my body, my choice. You subject yourself to that boss on that job. You know what I'm saying? You'll wear what he tells you to wear. You'll do your hair the way he tells you to do your hair. You'll do your makeup the way that he says to do your makeup. You will speak the way that America tells you to speak. You'll change your vernacular. You'll change your tone. You'll miraculously gain respect and courteous and be kind when you answer that phone at that job. But when it comes to being and under subjection to your husband, which is the authority that the Lord gave the man, that you don't want to do. And it just goes to show you just exactly how, again, that story in the very beginning with the serpent and Eve, why it's there. That's exactly what he did. He usurped authority from Adam, and he gave that authority to Eve, which the Most High never gave that to her. You know what I'm saying? I just want to pull up this definition of this word subject. Again, we have no problem being in subjection to America. None whatsoever. We have no problem being in subjection. But that word subject says one that is placed under authority or control, such as when America goes to war, if this country is attacked by China, nobody's going to have a problem saying, well, the American military is going to protect me. I'm subject. I'm a subject of America. Nobody has no person going to have a problem with that. But you have a problem being under subjection to your husband. It says one subject to a monarch and governed by the monarch's law. We were governed by the Most High's law, and that's been replaced and hijacked with this white man's law. One who lives in the territory of, enjoys the protection of. The reason why we do not have the protection of the Most High is because we have rejected his law. We've rejected the order that he gave, and we've become subjects to America. We become subjects to this oppressor. We don't want to be under subjection to the Most High, because just how the brothers bring it out, you know what I'm saying? The same way how that sister is supposed to be in subjection to her husband, well, the husband is under subjection to the Most High. And that's where the protection comes from. That's where the instruction comes from. That's what keeps us tight and functioning like we're supposed to be. And that's why we're so out of order right now. So, you know what I'm saying? I had to go back there when you brought that up again, that word subject, because I think a lot of times, again, our sisters read, well, if they read, they might not be reading nothing in the damn church, you know what I'm saying? But they don't really be understanding what this Bible was saying. It's a reason in the book of Baruch, and it says that this Bible is perfect. This law is perfect. This law is perfect because the Most High, he mapped all of this out perfectly. And it's just like a car, right? Just like a car. You can go out and buy you a fancy car. Go out and buy you one of them fancy cars. Buy you a Maserati. You know what I'm saying? They love the Maseratis and Bugattis and all that. But guess what? Put you some of that 87 gas in it and watch what happened to it. Wow, you're going to be sitting on the side of the damn road somewhere. You won't be going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because it's designed and functioned to run a certain way. And it's the same thing with us. You know what I mean? Obviously, Yabakai checking in. He said, buck dancing for the oppressors. You know what I'm saying? But again, that word subjection is there for a reason. There's nothing wrong with that. We don't see when America is attacked, we don't say, you know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want to be under subjection of America. No, you want the Marines and the Army and the Navy. You want them to go out and fight on your behalf. And you're happy and proud of it. We cover our hearts up and say, God bless America. You know what I'm saying? We have no problem with that. But when it comes to, like you were saying, somebody that you are allowed to put a baby inside of you and start a whole new family with them, well, nah, he can't tell me what to wear. He can't tell me not to celebrate Christmas. He can't tell me not to celebrate no Mother's Day. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. So y'all, you bringing it out heavy tonight. I know you ready to go to the next one, Salaki at the water.
Man, no sweat. Get that priest a hand, man. Listen, man, this is just why, you know, like for something like this why I asked you to do what, you know, to come in, because I don't like, you know, we get this little thing like, oh, y'all, this is all y'all want to teach and this and that, but this is just showing you from different angles. You understand that we are in the same spirit. You understand? And showing, and I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest things about that scripture, what you just seen. That ain't just for women. I subjugate myself to Officer Yagadar. I subjugate myself to Officer Urash.
Yeah, right.
These men are over me. If I do something wrong in my house, guess what? Officer 5000, Urash, guess what he gonna do to me? Hey, I don't think you should do that.
Damn right.
I don't think you should say that to your wife. I don't think you should be this way to your children. I don't think you should carry yourself like this on your slave. I don't think it's proper for you to do such and such. I subjugate myself to the men above me. So why would I not want my, and this is why, because not only do these men live for me, but they will lose their life for me. If we're at camp, something goes wrong, these men will put their life on the line first. Their job every week week in and week out is to make sure that the men under them go home if they don't. It's not just you, sister, that have to subjugate yourself. We subjugate ourselves too to the men above us. So what make you better than us? It's brotherhood. I trust these brothers with my life. I trust my wife's life, my children's life with these brothers. And it's likewise because we follow the laws and the statutes and the commandments of the Most High, and they are not grievous to us. And just to get back on it, verse 12.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach.
But I suffer a woman not to teach. When it's saying this, it's not talking about not teaching your children. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into what a woman should teach. But what it's saying is a woman don't need to teach a man. If you're a sister out there in the world, you're not in the school, and you looking to come in here, your husband, the children of your father, he's a worldly man, he's not in the school. It's not your job to go to him and try to teach him. If he wants to learn as a sister, you come in here and you learn how to be a wife. Learn how to be more sisterly towards him. And you can ask him, saying, hey, listen, do you think you're something that you could do? You can give him a little push. It's nothing wrong with that. But you ain't got to go to him and teach him. You can't teach him. You understand? You don't need to be trying to worry about what Matthew 15 and 18 and all that is. You need to know the ratio of the flour and water and cook this brother a good meal. Be a virtuous woman, which means a woman who knows how to make money with the work of her hands.
It's a lot.
Bring money. Go ahead, sir.
You know that one they love. You know what I'm saying? You know that scripture they always love to go to, them damn Christian women.
Right.
You supposed to treat Christ. You supposed to treat me how Christ treated the church. How Christ treated the church. You know they love that one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. Come on. And you want to know how Christ treat the church? Bring them hither that wish that I rule not over them. You understand? That is the whole point. Christ lost his life, gave it up for the so-called church, for the body, for the people. That's all church means, just a gathering. He gave up his life for the church. That is what a husband does for his wife. Slocky, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Slocky, you said something heavy, brother. And also Yakadar, too, you said something heavy. For the Christians out there, right? That especially the Christian women that say that, right? My question to them would be is, when are you going to let me be like Christ?
Right.
That's my question to you. When are you going to let me be like Christ?
Right.
I have yet to see you let me be like Christ.
Right.
So I don't want to hear any woman say, well, you're supposed to treat your woman like how Christ teaches the church. Well, when are you going to let me be like Christ?
Right.
Then we can talk.
Right.
Other than that, you're spewing nothing but BS.
Right. Because come on, what color the water? Get that brother a hand, man. Get that preacher power hand, because that's exactly Christ was an authority figure. You understand? He was in authority. You understand? But once again, like I said, this falls back, all the way to the men, and we about to cover it now. Watch this. So, like your sir, if you could go ahead with the finish up with 12, and we're gonna jump into the 13 and 14, sir.
No sweat. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man.
Right? Not to usurp authority of the man, not to put yourself in a position over the man. You understand? It ain't no sister in this school that is a sister of 5,000. There is no Hebrew Academy for sisters. You understand? When you come in here, you will not get a Hebrew Academy jacket. You won't train as the men do. You won't be a trooper. You understand? Even the troopers, when they come in, they cannot teach. until they pass their officer's test. You understand?
Yeah, right.
There are rules. Everybody has rules, sisters. The men have rules. Women have rules. The thing about it is, sis, sometimes y'all don't want to follow these rules.
And Salakia, if I could,
Go ahead.
Officer Yabaka said, Salakia, Cap, tell everyone to come in and shut your goddamn mouth, and is right in line with what you're saying. But this scripture right here, that word usurp authority. It's not so. I want to pull that definition of it real quick. We'll come right back to the scripture just so you can see that definition of that word usurp. Again, every word in the Bible is there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So when it says not to usurp authority, usurp means to seize and hold office, place, functions, power, etc. Head of the house, you know what I mean, in possession by force or without right. The Most High did not give that woman authority to be over that man. The Most High didn't give you authority to be over the house. He didn't give you authority to make all the decisions. He didn't give you the authority to say, well, if I'm not happy, I'm leaving him. He did not give you that authority. 80% of your divorces are because of women. And that's an authority that the Most High did not give you. That's the authority that comes directly from the oppressor. It says to make or make of use without right. You don't have the right to be in charge of that household. You don't have the right to be in charge of that man, to tell him what to do, how many wives he gonna have, where he gonna be at, what time he getting home, when you gonna be there. You do not have the right to do it. The Lord did not give it to you. And last definition, to take the place of, or as if by force, supplant. And that goes right back to what we were saying in the beginning. Again, that oppressor supplanted and put that damn pastor in charge, not the Most High. The Most High did not call you a pastor, and that's the reason why Officer Matai Zachariah said it right. Look, he owned it too. You know what I'm saying? Look, Salakia, Officer Matai Zachariah, he said, Salakia, that word usurp is so heavy. It says to make or make use of without right, to seize or exercise authority or possession wrongfully. You know what I'm saying? It's a wrong thing for these sisters to be in charge, and it's not something that they did themselves. When you go back to that feminist movement, they specifically told that woman, we would give you benefits for this child, but that man can't be there. And when I go back and I research these older videos from the 60s and the 70s, our people were against it because the men were against it. They knew what was happening. Some years ago by, 2-3 years ago by, they saw what was happening. They saw what was happening. These men, all of a sudden, you don't need no man. All of a sudden, you can't tell me what to do. All of a sudden, I wear what I want to wear. You know what I'm saying? And you think about that when we came from an era of slavery where they were taking the men and the women and the children by force whenever they wanted to. They wanted us to be their sex toys. They wanted us to be, you know what I mean? I'm trying to say it the right way. They wanted us to be the prostitutes, you know what I'm saying, for them. Now we willingly do it, all because you took authority or you were given authority that was never rightfully yours. So I just want, again, that word usurp is a heavy scripture, a heavy word, you know what I'm saying, inside the scripture. So I just wanted to bring that out. Officer Yabaka says, my grandma said welfare used to come feel the bed to see if it was warm on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Correct.
Man, that's crazy, right?
Damn, that was a heavy one. There, you know what I'm saying? I had to read it twice, Officer, right about.
That sounds like the South right there.
That's heavy. That's heavy.
That sounds like the South right now, boy.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like the war.
Yeah, that's heavy. And you know what's so crazy? It's a movie called Claudine. I don't know if y'all ever seen it before. A movie called Claudine. It got James Earl Jones in it. You know what I'm saying? And I always remember that scene with him running out the house because welfare was coming over there. They checked to see if his shoes and any man's clothing in there. You know what I'm saying? And so forth. And so, like he's saying, that's such a heavy thing. And you know what's so crazy? When you talk to these damn devils, what these devils will tell you when you bring this up to them, they'll say that, well, no, that's not true. That's not true. And it is absolutely true, because the laws are enforced with us and they're not enforced with the with their own people. It's the same way how they'll pull us over and unalive us. They'll pull them over. They can shoot up the police car, run away from the cop, cuss them out, and they still go home alive. But for us, we don't. So it was an unwritten rule, you know what I'm saying, that they enforced. Well, I take that back, Salaki. It was a written rule that they enforced with us, and they did not enforce with their own people. So he is absolutely correct, you know what I mean, Salaki.
And Salaki, to your point, Officer Yagadar and Officer Yakwa, because that's excellent. Even to this day, they enforce it, but they enforce it in relation to your income.
Right.
So for how they do it is, you'll have a low income woman and a low income man, and when you put their income together after taxes, right? Everything. Well, I mean, before taxes together, they will not qualify for the benefits.
Right.
If together, and they can both work at Save a Lot, they can both work at McDonald's, they can both work at McDonald's. Their salary, their income before taxes is not good enough for them to receive those benefits.
Right.
So she would have to apply by herself without having a spouse, without having a husband, without even having a co-inhabitor inside of that place to receive those benefits. So what you're saying is heavy, is even to this day. So they're absolute liars if they try to deny it.
Right, right.
Most time Christ. Give that priest a hand. That's so heavy. That's so damn heavy. It's a lucky, Officer Yaqua, because then now if you trying to do what's right, or trying to, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to get the right amount of money in to take care of your family, and you report and she report, well, now that's welfare fraud. Now I can come in there and lock everybody up. I can come and take your kids. But I never forget, when you go to New York, you got the Jewish man that owns whole project complexes when there's nothing but them in it. Nothing but them. 3 and 4 year waiting list. I saw this documentary on it. 3 and 4 year waiting list. It's nothing but them in it. Multiple wives, the whole 9. And guess what? Everybody getting the checkup in there. And he owned a diamond district down the street. You know what I'm saying? So that's so heavy to their policy, how they destroy us. You know what I'm saying? And how they begin taking the authority from that man and giving it to that woman, which was never hers. Salaki, Officer Yaqua.
Man, give every brother a hand, man. Like I said, Ottawa, this gonna have to be a part 2, man, because I just couldn't get to the other stuff, because like it is imperative that we understand, you know, like to know the place of the man. The man has got to understand his place. So when he knows his place, when he understands his position and how important it is, he can stand on his own 2 feet, and then he can begin to lead his woman. Our women are only going to turn until they see the men change. They have to see us change first. And here in the ISUPK, under Commanding General Yohana, brother, you have to change your life to be in here. You are not allowed to be unbrotherly. You are not allowed to break the laws and statutes and the commandments of the Most High in this school. You are not allowed to be a horrible husband. You are not allowed to be a horrible wife. You are not allowed to be horrible people. Because if we're horrible, then our children, like we're going to find out in part 2, we're going to see how our actions affect our children. The Lord is going to punish us for our own sins, but our children are going to suffer the consequences from our mistakes. You understand? And with that, I'm going to read the security announcements, and we're going to get everybody up out of here because we're on the time, but it will be a part 2 to this. I just want to give a special thank you, man, to Officer 5000 Yarash for coming in and speaking, and Officer Yagadar, man. This is my brother, man. You know what I'm saying? I asked him to come in and help me out with the class because, like I say, like, it's so much to speak on. Like, you know, and as y'all seen, a lot of information got pushed out. You understand what I'm saying? And he had the clip, and he did the clip on what I wanted to really hit on about, like with that sister. That is child abuse. And like I said, the most horrible thing about that video, y'all got to understand, is was that brother in there. That brother had no authority in there, sir. None. Absolutely none. You understand what I'm saying? He had no power in that place. He couldn't have said, wait a minute, y'all don't want to think about this or nothing. If he would have said something, they'd have whooped his ass. If he would have said, that lady with them big arms, the big mama came up, oh, she would have beat him.
Hey, so like it. He would have been up there crying. He would have been right there next to the damn girl crying.
Okay. What do you think? All right, I'm gonna read these announcements, man. The water to everybody knows. The water, give yourselves a hand.
The water, Officer Yaquab.
This is the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for a year. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After a year, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21. Malachi 3, 8 through 10 means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. It's the feast of Hanukkah. It'll be December 14th. Akim and Aqua, check the bulletin boards in the hallways at your schools to make sure what needs to be done and everything in those dates, okay? If any brother wants to come into the school to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boot, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf, all right? We're going to give a courtesy salute to the highest ranking man in the room. Men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat, Imajim Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahweh
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Thumb.
Yadamatah, Sar, which is the term. We're going to face the sisters and give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat, Imajim Barak, Yahweh Shema Al-Kabah, Yadamatah. Class dismissed.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.